Here I am, killed by the light everywhere. We're not living but dying.
So it seems quite unusual in most places to really say it how it is. Most of the time we pretend to be someone, we pretend that we're okay, we pretend that we like what we're doing or that we're supposed to be doing. We pretend that we know what we're doing. We play roles as if we know that that's the role that we're supposed to play. And it seems that everyone around us seems to support that. The whole of society seems to support those roles that we play. So it's quite radical to actually say, well, hang on a minute. Do we actually know what the hell is going on? Really, if we're really honest, do we know who we're supposed to be, what we're supposed to be feeling, or how we're supposed to be behaving, or what we're thinking? Is that okay? Is that good enough? What about my feelings, my physical sensations? Is that okay? Is that acceptable? Am I okay? And the bottom line really is that we don't know. And we go searching to try to know. And we try to fit ourselves into certain ideas. Perhaps we copy what other people are doing or saying because it looks like, well, they know what they're doing. If they know what they're doing, then it must be the right way. We try to fit in with everybody else so that we don't stand out, for some kind of survival. So that we can be okay. But for a lot of people, or let's say for some people, there seems to be a strong drive to know what is real, to uncover reality and to see what is underneath this whole pretense. And that was certainly how it was for me. And if you've come to this meeting, then it's probably like that for you. Perhaps to different degrees. Perhaps you call it different things. Perhaps for some it's a thought story of waking up. Perhaps for others it's about the end of pain and suffering. Perhaps it's an emotional or physical feeling, drive, sense of something missing, something not quite it, something not quite satisfying. Perhaps there's a memory of how it was more satisfying once. Perhaps you've had some kind of experience or a glimpse or realization that it's all one and that everything's okay, but then things went back to normal. And the grasping, the searching goes on. And we gather so many spiritual concepts, to try to understand it all, to try and understand how it all works, because we don't know. We call our experiences awakening, or a spiritual experience, or a glimpse, or just how we call ourselves me, or my name. We call our lives my life, because we don't know what else to call it. We don't know what it is. And really, what I'm pointing to here is reality. The fact that we don't know. We don't know what's going on. And it's the idea that we should know that causes all the trouble. If we have a sense that something's missing, let's say, then really we don't know that that means that there's something missing. We just assume that it does. We feel the physical sensation, we feel the emotion, and thought doesn't understand what it means, so assumes that there's a problem, that there's something wrong that needs to be fixed. But the reality is that we don't know what it means. And it's often quite uncomfortable to admit that you don't know, that you don't understand. Thought, by its very nature, wants to understand. It wants to fill the gap. And yet still, the reality is that you don't know. Now this isn't some amazing big prize. You know, it's not about getting the prize of awakening or enlightenment or anything special like that. I mean, who wants to really admit that they don't know? You don't get anything special for that. In fact, it's the opposite. It's absolute humility. Recognizing that you don't know who you are, that you don't understand what the hell is going on in this whole thing called life, is absolute humility. It's the end of believing that you are someone who's going to get something or somewhere, and simply living now. This experience right now, this sensation, this sound, this thought, this emotion, whatever it is, thought can't put a label on it and say, even to call it presence, even to call it living in the now, is too special, is too fancy. It's so simple that most of the time it's overlooked, and thought wants something more, something bigger, something better, something more shiny, more dramatic, something that you can say, well, I've got it, I've arrived. But anything that you can say, well, I've got it or I've arrived, is not it. It's another passing state, a passing experience, a passing thought. I've got it. It's the losing of everything that you believe in. Losing every experience and every hope, every dream, every belief. Losing everything that you hold on to, everything that you consider safe. And in that losing, all you're left with is literally right now. And there's nothing to get right here, right now. There's nothing that can be owned. But don't take my word for it. Please come up and question everything that I've said. Please, I invite you to share or just come up and see what happens. This is really for you to recognize for yourself. I'm not suggesting that you take on some new concepts that I'm saying. But this is about exploring reality. Seeing the way it is. Checking, investigating. What is real? What do I really know right now? If I don't refer to what I believe in, what do I actually know right now? And it does seem to require some courage to not buy into thought.
No protection.
Radically.
No
Fresh. Right now. Just see what's actually here.
Good intention, and I am free. I am